Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the third Midnight TCG Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, and again, we got Allcityking, Ginzaki, and Midnightfox with us. And this time, we are talking about the ban list. And I'm pretty sure everyone's got a ban list or some ban list suggestions with them. How about Fox? Let's start with you. Let's hear what you've got.
Well, I'm going to say, as far as what I think is going to come around with the ban list, I'm pretty sure with the World Championship qualifying decks and pretty much every continent having the, as Ian likes to call it, the underdogs, the wind-ups, what everyone forgot about, I'm sure they're going to get hit. I'm sure Wind-Up Hunter will probably get limited, semi-limited, some way to shut down that engine. That and Rat are the worst parts. So I look at wind-ups to get hit in that part of the engine at least. I don't see them completely going nuts on the entire deck, but it's kind of like the Tech Genus deck where they had to limit just the one integral card. So,
what do you mean you don't see them going nuts on the entire deck? Like,
I don't see them hitting every single card. Every deck, like Inzectors, Glad Beast, when you think back to Glad Beast, Rescue Cat was the big thing other than the contact fusions of Herrick and Geysaris that made it competitive. They took out Glad Beast and it got knocked down a little, so they usually do that. Like Plants, they knew that Spore was a big pain to that, so they put it on the ban list. So when I look at how a ban list is going to come out, I kind of look at what's integral to that engine. What are they going to hit that's really hurting the duelist?
so you're saying Wind Up Hunter limit or semi-limit?
I'm saying Wind Up Hunter and probably Rat. That's probably the worst two. And since we all know Konami is such trolls, they're going to release Zen mains like crazy, and everybody's going to go out and buy all those tins just to stock up on Zen mains, and they're going to limit it. You know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Especially with everyone looking, and you can go to Oceania, you can go to North America. Almost all of the top qualifiers were wind-up decks. Everybody thought Inzectors were going to go completely nuts, and there were some that had Inzectors in their top, and there were Dino Rabbits in the top and Chaos Dragons. So I wouldn't say there's a meta 3, there's a meta 4, and wind-ups were the come from behind that everybody thought was just going to fall to the wayside when they changed the ruling on priority. That's where everybody forgot about wind-ups, was priority. Then Chaos Dragons, I think they're probably going to hit somewhere along Light Pulsar and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Maybe take Red Eyes down to 1 and maybe Light Pulsar to 1. I really don't see them making humongous changes as completely banning out of the top ones, but they're really going to have to limit the engines. And the big problem card when it comes to Chaos Dragons is Light Pulsar and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
I disagree with you there. I hate to say it, but in my eyes, you are like completely wrong. The win factor for Chaos Dragons is topping and starting out with Future Fusion. That card gives them so much plus. It gives them so much advantage that sometimes you can't get back. No matter what hand you have, you can have Veilers. You can play windups and try and discard their hand, but if they open with Future Fusion, at least 2 or 3 cards out of their hand are going to get used. They're going to have a needlessly large field by turn 2 or turn 3, and you can expect to be beaten almost every time somebody has Future Fusion. I know I have lost to Future Fusion every time it's opened. Well, not every time, but 95% of the time that it's been opened. I have such a hard time getting rid of it, because they play it and they go, okay, either you kill it, that's cool, because I get my 5 monsters in the graveyard. I can start my looping, I can start my red MDing, I can start my light pulsaring. Or you don't pull that MST in time and you end up facing a 5-headed dragon. And it's huge. It's so hard to get over. So that's what I see them doing towards that. Like, I see them getting rid of Future Fusion. Also, for one other reason, if you guys are kind of looking at any OCG Nationals or anything, this weird hero deck that I'm actually playing now, anyway, this weird hero deck that runs 7 monsters abuses Future Fusion with Zephyros. Zephyros is too good at the same time, but it's Future Fusion that's the big problem. I built that deck in like 25 minutes, got everything together, threw it all together, I net decked. Who cares? Oh my gosh, what a loser. I don't care.
What a loser.
I built it. And guess what? I beat Chaos Dragon 7 duels in a row because I had Future Fusion and I kept looping it. Like, it's such a broken card.
Well, I do see Future Fusion getting hit. I mean, you can Gold Sark into it too. So even if you don't get it turn 1, if you get Gold Sark into your hand, it could be sitting there for 2 turns and then you can pop it off. Yes, your opponent has time to respond to Gold Sark. They have 2 turns to plan for it, for you to get that Future Fusion and know to keep that MST. But still, yeah, I do see Future Fusion getting banned because it's not just Chaos Dragons, but if you look at the support that's coming to the Heradic,
Yeah.
that will just make dragons even worse. So 5-headed dragon, dump any 5 dragons. So you're going to either abuse Chaos Dragons or you're going to abuse Heretics because they're just going to go nut with the way they're built. So I really I agree with you there. I see Future Fusion getting hit. But as far as the monster problems in Chaos Dragons, I see Red Eyes Darkness Metal and Light Pulsar at least getting limited to semi-limited, probably limited, because Red Eyes Darkness Metal, the Red Eyes deck has been around in the meta long enough that they're probably going to start winding it down, kind of like they let Glad Beasts run rampant for a while, and then they just completely almost killed the deck with the ban list. Dino Rabbit, I really don't see them doing a whole lot to it. Everybody thought that deck was going to blow up huge, and in some ways it has. I see Rabbit maybe getting limited to semi-limited, but with there not being a whole lot of Dino support out there, big beaters like Alexandrite Dragon for dragons, not being big beaters like that with dragons, I see maybe a limit to semi-limit coming for Rescue Rabbit, but I think he's going to be in the meta for a while. Everyone thought he was going to get banned last format. Oh, he's just going to be completely broken. And windups blew up well over Dino Rabbit. I mean, Lagia and Doka are both getting reprints. And I mean, when you look at what Konami's releasing, I think this is big troll fest. Everyone's getting excited about what's coming out, and then we're all going to be disappointed when Konami drops that ban list in September that says, oh, thanks for spending your money. Now it's not worth as much.
They'll send me a personal letter.
They will say thank you to the Allcityking Foundation for supporting us.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Inzectors, I would say if they hit anything, it's probably the big problem in Inzectors is Hornet, which really ended up not being as completely awful as they thought. But I'd base the cards around it to where they're going to hit a limit or semi-limit with Hornet, Hopper, and probably Dragonfly. It's so funny to look at, like, when you look back at Black Wings, that usually the first set is the keystone of what most of the deck's going to run in, like, triplicate or doubles. I mean, if you still play Black Wings, Siroko's Big Bad Dog, Elfin, he's okay in Bayou Turbo. Shura, he's a staple. Gel, he's a staple on a Blackwing. The original guys they release, they make it overpowered, then they lend support, then they limit your power on it. And if I was to look at something, there may be other small changes they make, but I think they issued a press release earlier about how they do the ban list. So, I mean, just looking at where the World Championship qualifiers have come from with Windups, Dino Rabbit, Chaos Dragons, and Inzectors being in the top, I look for them to hit that area the worst. Everything else hasn't been as much of a problem. As far as coming off the list, that's a really hard one. They don't always bring off the list, but if I was to say anything they might possibly talk about bringing off, maybe, let me see, maybe Premature and putting Monster Reborn back, because at least with Premature, you're stuck with your own grave, and you have to pay 800 life points, so there's a cost. And it's an equip card, so it has to stay on the field. I mean, with Call at 3, Monster Reborn, and so many other cards able to bring cards back into the game, they've got to find a way to take away from those special summons, because that's really what's flooding the field. Just the ability to swarm, and it's getting even worse with things like Call of the Haunted, which, if you get rid of that, yeah, you get rid of the monster unless it's a Ginzo. And Monster Reborn, it's too painful right now. I see maybe Premature coming off, or them taking Call back down. Just some way to limit the special summons, because Z summons are so easy to run into. I mean, personally, what I'd like to see, if anybody's been reading my Forbidden reviews, I think something like Chaos Emperor Dragon coming back with priority gone. Not as broken, but I don't see him coming back. I really don't, but I can dream. Dark Magician of Chaos, I'd love to see him back, but yet again, another broken card.
You dream big. You dream so big.
Cyberjar. Cyberjar is one of the most lucked out cards, but we all know it's not going to come back. But it would be fun to watch a field get wrecked by Cyberjar. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't see a huge amount of problems where they're at right now. It's mainly the top tier decks they're really going to have to hit, because that's what runs rampant. It even runs rampant over 6 Sam, which were around top tier for a long time. So, with my thoughts on the process, I know Allcityking piped in and offered some thoughts on what he thought of my ideas. You got any again, Jen?
I tend to follow both of you on the for the dragons. I believe it's going to be the Red Eyes Darkness Metal at least getting bumped down to 2, maybe 1. Definitely Fuse Your Fusion will probably get hit. As far as Inzectors and Windups, I'm not sure. I haven't seen a lot of them playing, so I can't really make a guess on it. But I do have ideas on what might come off, and I've been given serious consideration because, as you said, they're going to be bringing back certain cards off the banned list for certain periods of time, and I'm thinking this would be a good time for us to see Tribe Infecting Virus return.
Beautiful card.
With the water deck coming back, absolutely, I could see them doing that just to pump up their sales. With the Abyss Rising coming in 4 months, and with the Roar of the Dragon Lord or whatever structure deck, I can see it coming in. I can see it absolutely wrecking.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing
you've
like
got
buying
the current meta being big on archetypes, which Tribe Infecting Virus is generally the archetype killer. Plus, it's not as broken because you need to toss out something to use it, but then again, you could toss out something you want in the graveyard, so it depends on how you're thinking there. And Fox mentioned it. I was thinking also Premature Burial will probably return. They'll probably throw out Reborn for it, because the game is kind of getting to the point where cards without costs are painful, a little too painful.
Just give me an idea.
You know, that would be the ultimate troll from Konami to bring back Tribe Infecting, considering they're about to pump up water decks. I could see that actually happening. It would be so funny, and everyone who's gotten rid of their Tribe Infectings, even their commons, are going to be like, I wish I had it. And with everything switching to a certain type, like Inzectors run insects, and Chaos Dragons run dragons, and Dino Rabbits run dinos, it would be a good way to shut down those engines.
Yep.
So you're essentially saying single card control is what they're going to start doing. Is they're going to start giving single archetype control.
Well, I think so, because I think Tribe Infecting Virus would be good to come back, because it would allow us to, it's a good anti-meta card, because a lot of meta decks fit into a single type of monster, like as Fox mentioned insectors being insects, and you hit them hard there. And Tribe Infecting is a nice splashable card in any deck, so they're not giving any deck an advantage over another.
You know what? If they bring that back, I don't see it being any more than a side deck card. Honestly, yeah. I don't see it being any more than a side deck card.
Mm-hmm. I would run it every deck, main deck, just for the trolling.
I see the faint possibility of Dark Arm Dragon returning to 2. Very faint.
Very faint, yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Arm Dragon at 2, I don't think Dark Arm Dragon is as broken right now as people expect it with Teledad coming back. I mean, Konami hyped those top 4 decks so bad that everyone forgot, oh gosh, the Teledad engine is back. We got E-Teleport at 2. We can go nuts now.
Mm-hmm. So Teledad will never come back. It can't. That was essentially what made them smarten up with the ban list, because the ban list before Teledad were just kind of lackluster, not a whole lot of change, but it was when Teledad ran rampant, and actually when Blackwings came really close to winning Worlds with the release of just one set, with the Black Whirlwind, the Sirocco, Shura, Blizzard, everything like that, with the release of one set, that was the kind of time period when they said, okay, we're doing something wrong with the game, and we need to start watching it. That's what I think started changing the game in the form of a ban list.
What do you guys think about Kaluk maybe at 2?
Definite possibility.
Either one of them.
I could see Book of Moon returning to 2 as well. Attempt to shut down some of the more annoying engines out there.
Now, barring that they get rid of Future Fusion and Monster Reborn, I could possibly see maybe Magician of Faith making a comeback. But then again, there are a lot of broken spell cards, so who actually knows with Konami?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I've got a whole huge list in front of me with reasons why and everything. My kind of predictions on the ban list.
Let's hear them.
Okay, well, the big talk between all 3 of us, of course, Future Fusion, like I said, allows Dragons too many pluses and advantage. It just makes that deck win games. It needs to go. And it pains me to say that because I run it in my new hero deck, and it's awesome. It works perfect, and I just traded for an ultimate, but it's got to go. It's got to go. Like I said, yeah, again, heroes. OCG heroes abused it to win nationals like crazy. My other ban is Wind Up Hunter. Wind Up Hunter is the only card in the Wind Up archetype that needs to go.
I don't know. I think Rat lends good support. Wind Up Rat.
See, I disagree with
headache, you. And Wind Up Rat is the hangover from the next day.
See, I disagree with you because, okay, what can Wind Up Rat do without... No, let me talk about Hunter first. Wind Up Hunter, he was created for wind-ups for no other reason than to rip cards out of your hand. He doesn't have any other decent effect other than he's a level 3 and you loop through Zen Mighties with him, okay? That's it. Without him, 3 Rat is fine because guess what? You can pump 3 Zen Mighties and a Giga Brilliant. You have 3 1800 beaters on the field. Noble Knight Artorgrius or whatever that just came out, he's an 1800. Ryo is a 1900 beater that just rolls over all 3 of them. He rolls over all 3 of them. Wind Up Hunter is perfect for what Konami wants to do as well with the Xyz. You can make Xyz spam because I just dueled online 2 days ago. I dueled against a Wind Up Samurai deck that Xyz and it pumps out everything. I saw 3 Shadow. I saw 3 Zen Mighty in there. Like, it was crazy. And yes, it used Hunter, but at the same time, you don't need Hunter to exceed spam.
Well, what I'm looking at on Rat is just the ability to special summon. Yeah, Hunter allows you to keep your hand full, but Rat allows you to special summon a wind-up monster. Just switch him to defense. You get a special summon. You have 2 level 3s out. You normal summon, and you got a Zen Mains in 1 turn.
That's fine. That's fine because Zen Means is so easy to get over now. He is so very easy. Like, Zen Means has never been a problem for me. I've run Super Poly, I've run D Prisons when they're stupid enough to attack with it. You can easily destroy a monster 3 times in one turn in a game now. You can compulse evac it, it's at 3. It's so very, very easy to get over Zen Means. With just a little short note reprint on it, going to be really great. I don't think it's going to get touched though because it's never run at more than 1. Everyone only runs it at 1 because
No, but if you look at like Leviathan Dragon, Leviair, you can go into any level 3 Xyz monster just in one turn with Wind Up Rat. If you're running a Wind Up deck, you can go into any level 3 Xyz monster in one turn that runs just 2. Wind Up Rat, switch it to defense, special summon a level 3. I got a Leviair or a Leviathan. I got a number 20 Giga Brilliant. I got something to pump up monsters on my field or bring monsters back out of play. Just with those, that's not including Zen Main, and who knows what other level 3 mean monsters that are going to be Xyz that they're going to have waiting for us. And I mean, even if you're not going with an Xyz engine, you go for synchro summons. It's just the ability to swarm the field that makes decks top tier. That's why Blackwing stayed on top for so long, because their ability to swarm. Wind-ups, their ability to keep your hand full and swarm. Inzectors, the ability to swarm. I think that's where the big problem comes in today. It's just become so fast that if you're facing one of those decks, you're usually facing a full field.
And that's why they have Dark Hole, I guess. That's really the reason why they have Dark Hole.
And Torrential it too.
And Torrential it too. See, there's no way that Zen Mains would get hit. I don't see any sort of reason for it. Although, one thing that you did raise up that kind of gives me some sort of a little vibe is Leviair. I almost see Leviair getting banned for the simple fact that you can go into Leviair, have another monster removed, summon a level 4, go into another Xyz. With Heroics, that card is going to be busted. That card is going to be so good. Like, because I can mash together Heroics and Windups right now, and it would work like amazing. I could make Blade Armor Ninjas out the wazoo. I could make Heroic Champion Excaliburs out the wazoo. I bet you I could even find a way to make an OTK with heroes somehow. So Leviair should probably stay or go depending on what they do with Monster Reborn. That's my opinion, because a lot of cards get removed nowadays is what I find out. A lot of cards get removed and then Leviair just brings them back and recycles and recycles and recycles and recycles some more. That's my kind of banned talk. I've got a huge limit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards on my limit list. I'm just going to open up with a surprise. Trishula back to 1. I'm not a synchro player, but Trishula is actually one of the only good cards that people synchro summon for anymore. And I know it helps Infernities, and it makes Infernities so good. And I'm surprised Infernities haven't topped in a long time. But it's one of the only good synchros nowadays. I like Bryonic, incredibly broken. And
I never understood the Trish ban personally. I mean, yeah, it does hit 3 areas, but they haven't reprinted it or anything, so it's not like every duelist out there has humongous amount. I think that was just a Konami troll to us.
Yeah, I think Trish got the hit because of the new Xyz coming into play. They just wanted to remove the best synchro we had to give the Xyz time to play around in the sandbox, and I could see it returning, but I'm not optimistic for it.
See, that was the first thing, because we have Bryo, we have Thought Ruler Archfiend, which is so broken right now. It's like Fox said it in like a podcast or two ago. I pay warning, I pay judgment. I have 2,000 life points left. I attack you with Thought Ruler Archfiend. I can activate another Solemn Warning if I want to. Like, he's so busted right now in the game. He's so popular. His price skyrocketed $13 in a week. That's crazy. For a card that's been out for a while, $13 in a week, that's pretty crazy. So, like, there's already tons of broken synchros. Trishula is not that broken because it is one-time hand in graveyard. That's just one. As where Bryo is, you make it in Dragons, I discard 5 dragons to bounce the 5 cards on the field, and then I herp derp, I loop, summon four dragons, and I attack you for game. Like, there's so many more broken cards out there rather than Trishula. Trishula can come back to 1 without anyone being worried, in my opinion.
I'd like to see Trish come back, personally.
Second one that I have on my list is Spore. Now everyone will say, well, like, why bring back Trish and Spore? You're getting too close to the Tengu Synchro City kind of ban list. But if you think about it, Spore in this game today is really only good one time as a level 1. Other than that, you need to run a specific plant. Yes, Dandelion, it works to make it a level 4, but it is only a level 1 the first time. And if you can make it skip even going onto the field, they can never ever use it as a level 1. They can only ever use it as a level 3 or 4 or something like that. And that can make Spore very, very difficult to use. So it coming back with less versatility than most people think it has, I'd be okay with.
Yeah, Spore. I think that they were really trying to kill the plant. They really tried to kill the plant engine. That's why Glow Up went. That's why Spore went. And I look for them to stick with that for a little bit. Usually, if they put a card on the ban list, it's there for a few formats. It's not there for one. That's unfortunately why I think Trish is going to stay banned for at least one more format, because they don't just put them on for one and take it off. They're usually there for at least 2 to 4 formats before they ever get to come back. So it gives people time to forget about them.
But at the same time, this is the first ban list that Konami is doing as in trying to switch people to play into the new Xyz. So they might just be subbing it out for a format. Maybe 2, okay, I can understand 2 formats. That would be okay. But I do see that happening. I do see Trish coming back soon. I do see Trish coming back sooner rather than later.
We can hope.
Third card on my list, Insector Dragonfly. Dragonfly, like Hunter, is the biggest problem of the deck. I mean, of course, Hornet always is a problem, and you need to find a way to keep removing 3 different cards from their graveyard, and that's a little tough to do. But at the same time, Dragonfly is a searcher. If you limit it, it slows down the deck a lot, but doesn't kill it. But it also doesn't allow the deck to die because it can't. It can do some loopy plays, but not as many.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mentioned Dragonfly in mine. I see it getting limited, semi-limited, probably limited, because, as I said, it's a keystone to how the engine of that deck runs. And it's very cheap and very easy to get a hold of. I mean, yeah, the price is going up a little bit, but it's a rare, and it's never going to rise to the price of, say, a wind-up rabbit that's going to run $100 because it's a secret rare. So, I mean, if they're looking at rarities, the secondary market, Dragonfly is one of the integral parts that's probably going to have to go because it's more easily accessible than, say, the Hornet is in the deck. Most duelists are holding on to their Hornets.
That's true. Next card on my list is Evil Zarlagia. What is that noise?
That's
Sounds
my
like a dog.
It's a dog.
Yeah, I definitely see Logia getting limited.
See, I don't see Dolka getting limited because they're like, ha ha ha, sales. And then, like, Logia is just a super in the tin. Nobody's really going to buy it. But Dino Rabbits being able to make a 2400 Solemn Judgment Beater 3 turns in a row is just broken. Like I said, they don't touch Dolka. Why? Sales. I could say the same thing about Logia, but he's just a super, and Dolka is going to be the more popular tin in the end anyways, because it's like Dolka, Zen Mains, and one other card, Wind Up Rabbit, I think, is that one.
Wind Up Rabbit, yeah.
It's just like, hello, budget players, here are the cards you want.
But then like, again, Logia is getting released in the opposite tin of Dolka, but the thing you got to factor in, they're releasing that 2 weeks before the ban list. So they could drive up their sales in that 2 weeks with people thinking it's not going to get hit, either one of them.
They're going to have to bump up their sale time because before September 1st, every ban list that I have ever followed being released is released on the 18th of August at the latest, the 18th. Between the 13th and the 18th, the 5-day stretch, depending on if it's a weekday or a weekend, that is usually when they release it and go, okay, everybody get ready for what's going to be happening. So maybe everything in those tins, those 8 cards that are in there, won't get touched at all. Like, that's something to consider because they do release it 2 weeks prior to September 1st when it does actually start, when that ban list actually does come into effect.
Well, even if they don't limit it, I could see at least semi-limits on both. Then you still get your sales, but you take down very small amount of that engine. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of people running 3 copies in their decks of both of them. When I go and I look at deck lists, I don't see people running 3 copies of each. But just so Konami could say they did something about the engine, if they don't limit it, I think they'll at least semi-limit each of them.
Mm-hmm. My next card on the list, last one for limiting, is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. All I can say is one word, Gustav Max. Okay, that's 2 words, whatever. Gustav Max. Broken as heck. And I'm going to dive right into the Heradic discussion with this anyways. Heradic Seal of Convocation, the rota for the deck. The deck is scarily consistent right now. Looking at all the deck lists, 3 Convocation, 3 Gabab, 3 this, 3 this. They run 3 of everything and 3 card D in there. The draw power, the plus power, the rota, it's too consistent right now. And now that Gustav Max is confirmed to be a Shonen Jump Alpha promo, everyone is stocking up on Heretics. My friend just traded for like 6 Gabebs or something like that, just so he can stock up because everyone knows it's going to happen. Everyone knows Heretics are getting scarily consistent with the release of Card D in the Heretics. Like, in every other rota, almost every other rota, for like archetypes, with the exception of Eve Emergency Call, which is good for me, but like Sheehan Smoke Signal, it's at 2. Seal of Convocation should be at 2, with Red MD at 1.
Yeah, I agree on, that kind of went back to my list. And, Heretics and the Chaos Dragon. If you hit that.
Anyway, somebody was talking about Red MD and Seal of Convocation. Oh, wait, that was me. Whatever. Okay, right onto my semi-limit. From Convocation, I'll go right to the rest of my semi-limit list. It pains me to say this, but I don't even want to say it. Somebody should say it for me. No, okay. On my semi-limit list, the first 2 cards, Super Poly and Miracle Fusion.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Possibly.
No,
I mean, the heroes, especially with getting a Skirdo, they're getting more and more competitive. When Heroes first released, people looked at them and thought, this deck's never going to take off. And I mean,
I'll admit to being on that side.
Hey, I saw Heroes and I knew I was going to play them for the rest of my God-given life. I knew that. But no, the reason I say Super Poly, Super Poly is scary though. Plain and simple. Okay, and Zen mains. See, that's another really easy way to get rid of Zen mains. And if you look at the OCG, Heroes is actually the number 2 deck in all of the OCG playing right now. It is number 2 behind a tie between Chaos Dragons and Dino Rabbit, I think. But with the Scariator coming out next month, with the Scariator coming out next month, Super Poly, I think, needs to go to 2. Miracle Fusion, the most broken normal spell card I have ever seen, I think.
Guess what? You can't cancel me. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, with Super Poly, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I've been watching some YouTube videos, and I actually found out a way to make any hero that you make with Super Poly invincible. As long as your card is chain link 2 or more, once the monster is summoned and it's resolved successfully, they cannot bottomless it because it's still resolving the chain. So chain E-Call, chain Super Poly. Invincible monster. But on to Miracle Fusion, single most broken normal spell card ever. For the one reason that I make a 3200 beater Shining. You destroy him pretty much any way you want. Any way. Oh, you Tarantula him. Sorry. Oh, okay, you Dark Hole him. Okay. Oh, you destroy him by battle. Okay. I'm going to take 2 heroes back from my remove from play zone. I'm going to take Stratos and Aeneas Alias with a Gem Spark sitting in my hand. Go for it. Next turn, I'll just top another Miracle Fusion. It's all good with me. Like, it's a broken spell card, and I hate saying that. I hate saying it because I've always had to defend heroes not being broken. So yeah, another one that I've kind of seen on some lists and I almost agree with is Black Whirlwind going to 2. Kind of agree, but more people would play Black Wings, and again, that goes into more of the archetype playing. If it was back at 2, it's also a good way to keep some synchro players happy if synchro people want to keep playing. Kind of a good way to make sure that synchro engine does not die in the TCG like Konami doesn't want it to do. So that's just kind of my opinion with that.
How many people are excited about the Seal of Orichalcos release?
Ooh.
Instant
stealing
ban.
Some people's souls.
Yeah, didn't you guys hear, and it's just a rumor, the emergency ban at Comic-Con on Seal of Orichalcos. You know what it was? There were too many people there sending people to the Shadow Realm. That's what it was all about. That's all the hype.
Yeah, that's going to be emergency banned. That's going to be emergency banned, definitely. Because Ginzaki, or actually, if Kiyu listens to this, next time we duel, I'm going to play Seal of Orichalcos, and I'm going to send your soul away. But let's see if he listens to that.
That's a politically correct way of saying he's going to kill you.
No, yes, okay. Shh. Okay, next card on my list. Last card on my semi-limit list. This is semi-limit kind of going into the unlimited, but I'm going to say Formula Synchron from my last semi-limit to unlimited card. Simply for the fact nobody plays them. Nobody is going to drop their 3 Veilers on the field and synchro summon for a Formula Synchron. The only deck I see abusing this right now is the Lava Quasar OTK that's coming out right away in Hidden Arsenal 6. For you people in the States, you guys already have it with the dual terminal Xyz Awakening or something. I don't know, because the Hidden Arsenal 6 is called Omega Xyz, and that's for us here. That's getting the Lava Volcano Handmaidens, etc., etc. Shooting Quasar OTK almost beat me in the Fire Deck of the Month tournament. Fire. Shooting Quasar is a fire. Rah. Anyways, it almost beat me, and that's why I kind of don't want Formula Synchron to go back, but if it goes to 2, that's fine. Just expect Shooting Quasar to win Nationals next format. And then Unlimited, I only have 1 card, and that's Agent of Mystery Earth, simply because they're not going to bring TG agents back because it wrecked in the OCG, and as soon as they bring it back, that's going to be the only dominant deck in the OCG once again. But let's bring some archetype playability back when we take some away. Let's get some fairies going,
I don't know. I don't know if they would do that. I mean, I think they're going to go with one of them. They're going to give some support back somewhere. They're going to bring back, if they bring back anything and it's a monster, they're going to look at possibly tribe infecting just because of everything that runs a certain archetype. That kills everybody running a certain archetype. But then again, on the other hand, if you're playing a mirror match or something, well, then it's just as broken in your opponent's hand as yours.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's a lot of archetype playing right now, they're going to take some away probably by hitting wind-ups and probably by hitting Inzectors. So they need to bring some back. And why not bring some back through Agents? Agents is a scarily consistent deck. It really honestly is. Like, I played Agents, I played TG Agents, and then I played normal Agents after, and saying just Earth back at 2 makes the deck so good. So good.
Well, even we had talked about Black Wings bringing Collude at 2 or Black Whirlwind at 2. That tends to be Konami's thing, is they take away from one archetype and they give to another, or Rescue Rat to make Glad Beasts competitive again. I mean, if you think about it, Glad Beast, Rescue Cat into Xyz monsters along with contact fusions is scary. Imagine that kind of list.
Rescue Cat would
Didn't
have me putting air bellums into my sabers
Yep.
really fast.
yeah, didn't Rescue Cat only help X Sabers, or did it help?
It helped Beast as well.
Sabers
helped-
and Glad Beasts.
How did it help Glad Beasts?
Level 3
Bestiari.
Beast type monsters, yeah.
Oh,
That was the key, one of the keystones to popping out Gyzaris in no time flat, and Herrick in no time flat, was just being able to pop off Rescue Cat and get one of the contact fusion material monsters out, along with a second Glad Beast or a second X-Saber. And X-Sabers with Rescue Cat are eerily consistent too.
Mm-hmm.
Rescue Cat is very good in either one of those decks.
Yeah, my Saber's original build was a Cat build, and then Cat got banned, and I had to modify it into a full helm build.
Go ahead, ACK. You were going.
what? Sorry? Huh?
You were going. I think
Your
we both
mind
cut off.
wandered.
Oh no, that's my whole entire list. That is what I think kind of actually does something with the game this time. Unlike last ban lists when Wind Up Hunter walked away arm in arm with Wind Up Hornet going, "What's up? We're here for another format." That's cool. Like, last format, okay, we killed the already dying Synchro deck. Trishula, Spore, Glow Up, ban. Complete overkill. But Hunter is like, what's up? Cards in your hand? Don't think so. And Hornet's like, what's up? Cards on your field? I don't think so.
You know what would be a funny one, just to watch them try to boost fusion monsters again, and with the advent of seeing more fusion monsters starting to hit, would be Cyberstein or Metamorphosis. Either one of those would boost fusion decks back, because I mean, I think they don't want any of them to die. They don't want any of those special summons to die. So, take away future fusion, but we're going to give you Cyberstein, which costs you 5,000 life points, or we're going to give you Metamorphosis, where you can go into something that's the same level, that's a fusion monster that doesn't specifically state it can only be fusion summon, like the early heroes were when they were released. I could see them going somewhere on that too, because, I mean, this is Konami, and everybody thought fusions are just, they're not really going into it other than heavily supporting Five-Headed Dragon, but I've started seeing more fusions come out in some of these newer sets, so I look for them possibly. It's very doubtful, probably, but I could hope in my own little mind that they'll bring back either Stein or they'll bring back Metamorphosis just to support fusions again. Because like you said, they don't want to kill off Synchros either.
Yeah.
So that would be a way of pushing fusions back into the game again.
I really honestly don't see fusions ever really getting touched. I see the cards that make them getting touched. But what about you, Ginzaki? K, one card that you guys want to see come back just like for fun. What card do you guys want to see come back? To even just one.
Let me sift through here. We could we could have fun with Chaos Emperor Dragon, of course, but Makura the Destructor. Put that at 3. Let people go crazy with the OTK trap builds. Yeah, what would you like to see come back?
Me. See, there's no fusions, there's no heroes. See, so you want me to
Hey, take
see something come back to 3. Something to come back to 3. I could be a dick and say last turn to 3.
How about Crush Card Virus?
Oh, I'm looking at that too. I was like, should I say it?
Just 3 Crush Cards, 3 Epidemic Eradicators, and 3 Deck Destruction. Boom. Have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's just always been one of my personal favorites. I want to see some DMOC love. I was so looking forward to Dark Magician of Chaos coming off last ban list that was released in March, because everybody was hyping Dark Magician of Chaos is going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. And I've been watching eBay, and the price is steadily staying around $36 to $40. Yes, the card is easier to get a hold of now with Battle Pack, but the IOC is staying right around there, and there are some insiders at Konami who have an inkling of where they're going, and from it going around to an $8 to $10 card to, like, within the last, probably 3 weeks to a month, going back up to $30 to $40, anywhere in that range, it leads me to think maybe my dream might come true.
Oh, I know what my dream is. Now that I'm looking at this, I want Magician of Faith to come back so I can run 6 Super Polys or 6 Miracle Fusions. Super Poly what?
So you just want to kill the game is what you're saying.
I just want to kill the game? Oh, yeah.
Yada Garasu. Let's just do a Yada lock. Let's just kick it old school.
Oh, if you're going to do a Yada lock, let's see. Why don't we just bring a time seal lock back?
There you go. That works too.
Or how about all of a sudden there is no advanced format? Boom! For 6 months, I want to go and work at Konami and be like the head honcho and be like, guess what? For the next 6 months, there is no advanced format, and then everything is at one.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting one.
Go ahead.
Hell, here's a interesting format I'd like to see. Just the idea of the no advanced format, just have every single card limited to 1.
Every card
limited to
like,
1. Have
in
fun.
the entire game.
In the entire game.
But then they couldn't find out what's broken. I really think if Konami wanted to see what's broken so they know what's actually going to fix the game, and we all know this is never going to happen, just like Allcity said, just completely remove all boundaries. Let everything run rampant for one format, find the problem cards, and get rid of them.
They would have to host a heck of a lot more tournaments. They really honestly would.
If they wanted to boost their sales, people would be going back and buying cards from way back.
Yeah.
That'd be one good money-making scheme. Hey, we're going to give you one format where you can play anything you want. Nothing's limited, nothing's banned, nothing's semi-limited. Have fun. And then you're going to go to your locals. You're going to be like, this is so freaking boring. Same deck over and over and over.
Chaos.
Yeah. So, what's one limited card that you guys want to see removed? Yeah, like to 3.
Oh. I would like to say the Exodia set, but I think it works best at 1.
I think, considering that it's been dying out, even though there's so much support to Lights, I'd like to see Honest come back at 3.
I'd
or
like
Mizuki.
To see TG Striker return.
Yeah. Does anyone want to guess what I want to see at 3?
What do you want to see at 3?
Come on.
Obviously, Super Poly.
No, it's already at 3.
Oh,
no, one card on the limited list.
Heavy Storm.
No, Elemental Hero Stratos. Are you kidding me? Stratos to 3. 3 searchers. If Heretics get it, why can't I have it? It's not fair.
Because the world is not supposed to be fair to you.
You know what I could see actually coming off of it now, just because there's so much payment in life points? Wall of Revealing Light. That always ran into one of my favorite OTKs that just annoyed people. Wall of Revealing Light, pace out 7,000 life points, self-destruct button, draw. I used to tick people off with that. I would run 3 copies of Wall when we still could, and I would have 3 self-destruct buttons in there. I'd be like, yeah. And that was in my side deck just when I wanted to troll. If they were playing it's back in the days of Soul Control. If they were playing something Soul Control, and I just wanted to troll them because they were having fun going crazy on the field, I would almost always draw into a Wall and a self-destruct button, and just to be a smart aleck, I would go, Wall of Revealing Light, paying 7,000 life points. Any response? No. Self-destruct button, draw.
So, Ginzaki and Midnightfox, how are we doing next week? So we're going to leave it up to the listeners again?
Might as well.
I think that would be interesting. A couple things to cover before we do end this podcast, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to let everyone know we did get some new banners courtesy of Master X. So check out on the dark skins like Violet Beauregard.
Bruised.
We have a new banner up there, and we have Midnightfox's joke banner on Blood Moon. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but it's really funny. Just go have a look at it.
I'm
And
looking right now.
our default page has a new banner courtesy of Nomad. We do have a few new skins. We have duck season, rabbit season, my bad. Memorial by Saint Walker and Feeling Blue by Saint Walker. New banners to come on them as well soon. And the Fox's newest rollout per his wife's request is Anastasia, pink and black for the ladies.
How thoughtful.
The Flash tournament's going on right now. They're every Friday. It can happen anywhere between 12:01 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. on Friday. Our first week was Friday the 13th, so it was Luck Week. At least a quarter of your deck had to be Luck. Our winner that week was Kaiou. And this week, we did a sealed deck tournament where you had to play with a structure deck from 1 to 8. So it was a traditional format, but you had to play with exactly what was in that deck. Our own Allcityking placed first in that tournament tonight. It was rather fun. I think everyone enjoyed the fact of going back to something like a sealed deck format. Made it quite interesting to see who the real duelists are out there. Something else we're talking about, a possible League of Legends tourney with prizes. Right now, we're looking at virtual, but if we have some people who start bringing in more League of Legends players, may offer some financial prizes to the said tourney. Check out Ginzaki's Mafia. We're looking at implementing a point system there as well with some possible prize support. So get in there and play in the Mafia section. Ginzaki will be keeping score in there, and you never know, you could earn a prize for going and having fun with a very entertaining game. And I think really the last thing to cover is what Eddie and Ginzaki are going to cover again tomorrow in the podcast. We're going to be having a podcast scavenger hunt. The Fox is going to be giving away an Order of Chaos playmat to the person who can find all of the answers listed. You're going to have to listen to all the podcasts, and I'm not just talking about look for big answers. We're going to find hard to find ones to see if you're actually listening. First person to answer all the questions correctly will win a free Order of Chaos mat.
People get to listen to my voice more. Yay!
My voice is annoying, so, they don't want to hear me prattle on.
I sound like Justin Bieber, apparently, so.
Why do I
have to kill it with fire?
What?
I said, so we have to kill it with fire?
Lots and lots.
All of a sudden, I see Allcityking standing in a ring, looking like Ricardo Rodriguez in Justin Bieber underwear. To all you wrestling fans out there.
Well, is that all the announcements, Fox?
I think that pretty well covers it. Just be on the lookout. We do have a few new podcasts coming. Upcoming will be some wrestling podcasts and some sports, but definitely take a look through the podcasts because, like I said, we're going to be having a scavenger hunt. We're going to see who's listening. We're going to see who wants to win that playmat.
I do.
Anybody who podcasts is off limits. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. I got one anyways. All right. Well, thank you, Ginzaki, recording man, once again, and Fox. And thanks, guys, for your input on the ban list. To all the listeners, we are going to do a ban list talk after it's released, and we're just going to see how ridiculous we were, or we're going to see how spot on we were. So thank you guys for all listening, and we'll talk to you guys again next week.